Deidre flopped down on the bed, snapping out of the past. Where the hell am I going? What the hell am I? Whose side am I on? Confusion over her duplicitous loyalties mounted, and suddenly a sharp pain invaded her abdomen, and she felt nauseous. Hand over mouth, Deidre ran toward the bathroom, but didn't make it in time. Warm vomit spewed between her fingers and ran down her forearms. Her nerve endings stood on end as she hunched over the old-fashioned porcelain sink and let the contents of her stomach empty into the basin. I have to pull myself together and get out of here, Deidre told herself, turning on the faucet to wet her face. As she finished washing her face and cleaning up her mess, she heard several loud knocks on the cedarwood cottage door. The sound jolted her. Eyes wide, she listened intently. Bang, bang, then a pause, and another bang. The knocks were an all too familiar sound. They all had been trained to knock that way as a code for backup. They were conducting a raid like she was a common criminal. Shit, she whispered, her survival skills catching her around the throat. How did they find me? Deidre muttered, her heart racing painfully against her sternum. She'd been taught to get out of situations like this. Looking up at the bathroom window, she contemplated climbing out, but her expertise told her that they probably had snipers surrounding the building. Deidre was now the enemy. The sounds grew louder and closer. Fuck! She exclaimed through clenched teeth. Her hands shook uncontrollably. Deidre knew that the information she held would surely cost her life. It's all over now, she thought to herself. There was nowhere to go. However, Deidre didn't plan on going out without a fight. She inched slowly over toward the bathroom door and locked it. She remembered that she kept her spare weapon hidden inside the Kotex box under the bathroom sink. She reached for the handles of the cabinet under the sink. Before she could retrieve the .357 Sig Sauer, her favorite gun, she heard footsteps and familiar voices thundering up the stairs towards her location. Instinctively, she got low to the ground, just as she had been trained to do, seeking cover as bullets whistled above her head and lodged themselves into the wooden panels of the bathroom walls. She balled up into a turtle position, using her back as her shell. Glass rained down on her body, littering her hair and shattering on her arched back. It was time to give up. If she didn't surrender, the undercover recovery team would surely kill her. In the eyes of the same people she worked for, she was just like the criminals they had hunted together. What set her apart was that she held too many secrets to live. Deidre stood up and raised her hands above her head as the door splintered open. Aponte, it's over. You need to come with us. A familiar voice yelled over the chaos. Deidre looked into the eyes of the man to whom she had once professed her love. The jig was up, but far from over. The next few seconds seemed to move in Matrix-like slow motion for her. The lone figure stood before her like the Grim Reaper. Stay back! Stay back! The suspect is armed! The man yelled to the other agents behind him, never taking his eyes off Deidre. He wouldn't allow his backup of rogue agents anywhere near his location, and Deidre knew just why that was. Don't do it, she screamed, throwing her hands up in surrender as he leveled the gun at the center of her chest. Drop your weapon, he yelled deceitfully, drowning out of her feeble attempts to elicit help from the other agents on the scene. Deidre was unarmed. She never had the chance to retrieve her gun. Immediately, she knew what he had in store for her. She squeezed her eyes together, causing the buildup of tears to escape from the corners. Boom! 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 The gun roared, hitting its intended target. The metal bullets seared through Deidre's skin. She stumbled backwards from the powerful shots, hitting her head on the edge of the old-fashioned lion-claw tub her mother and father had bathed her in as a child. Her body convulsed as blood spilled from her mouth and cascaded down her face and onto the cold floor. Thump, thump, thump. Deidre could both feel and hear her heartbeat slowly begin to fade. The pressure in her chest eased. She gurgled for air as her life flashed before her eyes. Volume 1. The Call.